Welcome to Connections. I'm your host, April Healy. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Denise. Hi, Denise.
Hey, April.
Welcome back, friend.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, so glad to be here.
So I know last time we talked to you a ton about being a single mom and how to get through it, and I actually would love to continue like some of that. So can you tell us some of the keys of ways that you got through being a single parent? And for those single parents that feel like they need an upgrade in their parenting, can you tell us some keys that you had to upgrade yourself?
Yes. So I think one of the biggest keys that I use to upgrade myself is realizing that if I don't take care of myself, I can't take care of anybody else. Mm-hmm. Because, as mothers, as parents, obviously our role is to take care of our children and get them through life and teach them things. But there just came a point, I'll use a story that I think is kind of funny to as an example for what I'm saying. So this was probably like one of my first girlfriend trips that I had with my daughters, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be gone for like a weekend with all of my friends, and they was like, that's not fair, we want to go. And I was like, okay, so when you're 19, 20, 21, and you go on a trip with your friends, I'm going to come. And I forget which daughter it was, but they were like, I think I understand what you're saying. And I was hilarious. Like, exactly. So, it was in that moment, or it was around that time that I realized, like, if I don't live my life and if I don't take care of me, regardless if that's a vacation, if it's a meal, if it's just like, reading a book, that I would not be full enough to take care of them, and I'm not showing them how to live a good life.
Yeah. That's really good. Did you find any ways that worked for you to take care of yourself? Like, did you find any, I know that, everyone's so different, so there's not really like the way, but can you give us some tips on things you did?
Yeah, so I just went back to like thinking about what I loved to do when I was a kid, and I loved reading. So reading is a really good pastime for me, and it feels like me time. Yeah. Reading something that I am enjoying. It could be anything. Going out to eat with a friend, going to get your nails done or painting them yourself. Just that like disconnection, for lack of a better word, where it's just like you filling up on yourself, or maybe just having conversations with adults.
Yeah, totally. Even on the phone.
Yes, even on the phone. So where you're not so inundated with like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or, Dora the Explorer, or whatever it is, you're singing the songs, right, with absolutely. Them. Whatever it is that makes you feel like you're you again, like you're alive. I talk sometimes about this concept of like Denise the mom and Denise the person.
Yeah.
And so anything that would make me feel like Denise the person, regardless, how short of a period it was, I found like a lot of joy in that. And that would make me be a better Denise the mom, because I didn't feel like I was giving them just, the barely there, I don't have enough me, because I was like so full of Denise the person. I was like, oh, okay, yes, I can be mom because I'm full now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if that answered your question,
that's
but
perfect. Wonderfully perfect.
Okay.
How did you combat self-guilt when you felt like, because as a single mom you have to balance so many things, work, being with them, and having alone time, and etc. So how did you combat self-guilt when you felt like you didn't have enough time for them?
I actually what do I want to say? So I feel like sometimes there's this concept when your kids are with other people of, they're not going to treat the kids the way I treat them, right? Totally. And then that can cause guilt, because you're like, well, if I was there, I would do this. Yeah. And there was a moment when, they have a fun aunt, and they, come back and tell me about all the things that they did with a fun aunt, that I realized I don't need people to be me. I need them to be who they are.
Yeah.
And so I released like the guilt by realizing that they were being exposed to things that I might not be able to give them. I think the other thing that I realized is that as much as I love my kids, as much as I want to protect my kids, I'm about to quote Justin Stockman.
Do it. He's
He
brilliant.
said, he still is, and I'd gone to talk to him about something, and he said, well, sometimes protecting them isn't protecting them. And I was like,
What does that mean? Yeah.
exactly. But it's like, if you are always carrying your child, they will never be able to explore the floor to build the muscles that they need to walk. Yeah. So protecting them by holding them in whatever the situation may be is not protecting them when they need the muscles to walk, when they need the muscles to run, or do something different than what you've protected them from. And so it was a part of that, and just realizing or hearing God say, like, however much you love them, however much you want to protect them, I love them so much more. And
That's
that,
awesome.
like, you can trust me more than you can trust yourself when it comes to, them. And I'm like, you're right. Like, you brought them here, and as much as I love them, you're going to see that they're safe. I don't have to be guilty about not always being there. I don't have to be guilty about not always being, feeling like I can provide these things, because there's a whole world that they'll be able to have these things provided to them in other way, or exposed to things that I might not even know myself in other ways that they can learn and grow from.
Yeah.
So.
You are full of such brilliance, girl. Wow. Seriously, wow.
All learned. I didn't grow up like this. Wow. All learned.
Well, on the learning subject, what did you feel like you got the most out of in first year?
So first year was a lot about identity. As I shared in the last segment, I did not feel like people wanted to connect with me, so I didn't know who I was. But so I would say the biggest thing that I learned in my first experience was how to be a daughter. Mm-hmm. That I was a daughter, that I was loved, that I was part of a family, and just like what that means, what being a daughter means, having an inheritance, having someone to look out for you. I love Steve Hill. He will always be dad in my mind, and just seeing him model family with the Hills really gave me context to family, and how he loves family is how, I've been able to put together, and a lot of families around here, like you and Blake, just everybody, taking pieces here and there. And that was like my overall experience of those pieces of this is you and me, like God saying, like, this is how I see you as my daughter. Yeah.
That's so good. What revelation did you get about connection?
Going back to this concept of Denise the mom and Denise the person, I will, honestly say that for a long time, I used my girls as an excuse not to connect, because it was like, oh, I got to do this, oh, I got to do that,
wow.
Oh, I got to be Denise the mom, and I really don't want to be Denise the mom. I want to be Denise the person. And so within the last year, I feel like, I made a decision of like, nope, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to use my children as an excuse not to connect, not to be available, and I'm not going to use my children as an excuse not to be Denise the person. So I'm now a part of like a family, and I've been able to just be vulnerable, be honest, and come close. Yeah. I'm learning how to come close. I'm learning not to be afraid of people leaving in mess. Yeah. And when things don't go a certain way, that we can still come close and work it out. So
wow, that's really, really good.
Learning how to connect in those ways have been amazing.
That's really good. And lastly, I would love to ask you, what did you feel like you got this year in the School of Ministry?
This year has actually been different. So I feel like the first 3 years, I went 3 years, and I'm redoing second year to be with Mama Lindy.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, love her. This year has been, so the first 3 years are more about being poured into and receiving. And this year has been about releasing.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah, so I have have figured out, like, I didn't know what this year was going to be about, but God is just like, oh no, now it's time to release. It's time to share what is within, and just realizing, one, that there's something there, that you have something inside to give, and that it's useful, that people need what you have, and that just trusting that everything that has been poured in you is there, and it's just come out without even like thinking about it. Like, you don't even know, like, oh, it is in there. So it's been really good to see that and have all those things work together.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, girl, thanks so much for joining again. Welcome. I love having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, you carry such wisdom, such revelation, and honestly, I'm just sitting here learning from you. It's brilliant.
The grace of God.
So you're awesome. And you guys, thanks so much for joining us. We love you, and please come back next time.